everybody, welcome back to Crochet by Landry. Today I thought we would talk a little bit about how my market went last week, and I thought I'd go through what I sold, what I didn't sell, how the weather was, and all that stuff. And so let's get started talking about how my market went. Welcome back, everybody. So my market was last weekend, and I thought I'd go through with you about how my market went and all that stuff. I will be putting pictures up on the screen of some of the items that I sold at my market, and I'll put the links in the description box down below of where I found the pattern in case you wanted to go and check it out. So I thought I'd go through and tell you how I did. And the weather on that day wasn't the greatest. It was rainy, it was wet. There was supposed to be thunderstorm, but thankfully that didn't happen, and we were able to finish the market no problem. So my market started at 11 o'clock. Setup time was around 9:45, 10 o'clock, and we were done around 3:34 that day because it was a rainy day, and there was something coming in behind us they were using the space as well. So we had to be out of there a little earlier than normal. So then I thought I would set up my tent. I had a 10 by 10 tent with my two 6-foot tables, and I'll put a picture of the setup I had on the screen so you can take a look at it. And then what I sold, I made a lot of plushies. I made a lot of scrubbies, some scrunchies, keychains, an assortment of things as well. And what sold the best were the plushies that I'd made. So I sold 2 bees at $10 each. I sold 1 turtle for $15, a scrunchie for $6. I sold a jellyfish for $10. I'm just looking at my notes here just to kind of refresh my memory. I sold 2 small octopuses for $10 each. I also sold 2 larger jellyfish for $20 each. And then I sold 3 bear loveys, which are bear blankets, and I'll put a picture on the screen for you. I sold those for $30 each, and I only made 3, and I sold all 3, which is great. So my gross sales were $203, and in cash I got $153 of that, and then on card I had $50 of that because I bought a square, and those work fantastically. If you're thinking about doing markets, I do recommend you get one. And then so total net take home was $202.37 because Square does take a little bit of that as a percentage, and that was only 63 cents in fees. So it's not that bad. And then you can have it sent directly to your bank account as well. So, which is great. So, and how I got ready for my market was I planned out how much I was going to make and prepped for how many toys, how many scrunchies, and I just made what I could between when before my market started, and then now for the next one, which is June 3rd for me, I'm going to start making some things that I sold just to replace what I don't have. So I'm going to make some more of those bear loveys. I'm going to make some more jellyfish, more octopuses, a couple of more bees, and a turtle, just to kind of fill the void of what has already been sold off. Now, I know some of you have asked how I do my pricing for my items that I make. So I'll try to put a picture of it up on the screen somewhere so you can see it. But I use an Excel spreadsheet to price out my crochet items. So what I do is I cost out how much yarn it took me to use, whether I'm using safety eyes or stuffing. And I also calculate how much time it took me to do it. So whether it was half an hour, 10 minutes, an hour, or even the span of a few hours throughout a week. And then I also calculate, I use the minimum wage where I live, which is in Canada. I live in Canada, so I use the minimum wage for the province I live in. And I use that to calculate my time. And then once the time's been calculated, I put in the price to offset the negative balance I have. So if I have a negative balance of $3, I put in $5 to make it higher. So that way I make a profit on what I've sold. So like I said, I'll put a picture up on the screen so you can kind of see what I have, like see the way I set it up. And my mom actually helped me set it up. So which is helpful because she's really good at that stuff. And I use that to help price out my items and making sure that I'm making money, not losing money on the crochet products that I sell at my markets and stuff. And like I said, the next one for me is June 3rd. So I will be doing another market video, and maybe on the next one, I'll take you with me and I'll do a time lapse so I can show you how I set up my booth. If it was nicer weather last one, I would have done it, but unfortunately the weather was not permitted, so I didn't want to get the camera all wet. So that's it for today, everybody. I just wanted to kind of go through a little briefly of how I set myself up for markets and all that. And like I said, if you are planning on doing markets in the future, I do recommend you buy a square and all that stuff. And I'll put a link down below of where you can find them to purchase them. I got mine on Amazon, and it was a relatively good price, and it is fantastic for when I'm doing markets because it's a lot easier and people are more likely to buy something from you if they know you take cards as well, not just cash. And I did want to dig a big shout out to all the subscribers so far. We're at 265, which is fantastic. So thank you to everyone who subscribed so far, and keep them coming. I'm trying to hit the goal of 300, and if it goes higher than that, fantastic. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button so you know when my videos come out every week, and hit the notification bell for that as well. And I will see you guys next week for our next installment of our calendar blanket that we're working on this year. So see you next week, everybody.